Hello students, welcome all of you. Today we will start our geography 4th chapter, air. So basically in this chapter we will read about our atmosphere and our air and what are the components of the air, composition of the atmosphere. These will be the important topic of this chapter. We will also read about the global warming. So let's start the chapter, students. So first of all, I want to discuss with you about the atmosphere. Our earth is surrounded by a huge blanket of air that is called atmosphere, as you can see on your screen. This huge blanket of the air that surround the earth is called the atmosphere, and all living beings on this earth depend on the atmosphere of this for their survival, and it's provide us the air we breathe and protect us from the harmful effect of the sun rays. As you can see on your screen that this is the huge blanket of the atmosphere, you can see. And this atmosphere also save us from the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. So without this blanket of protection, we would be baked alive by the heat of the sun during the day and get frozen during the night. So it is the mass of air that has made the temperature of the earth livable. Okay, means you cannot feel the air, but this this layer of the air is a huge amount of the air, and this save us from the lots of harmful effect of the sun and other kind of harmful effect of the atmosphere. And it's also, so it is the mass of the air that has made the temperature on the earth livable. Okay, so this is a very important part of our earth. So student, first of all we will discuss about the greenhouse effect. What is greenhouse effect and what are greenhouse gases? Student, carbon dioxide release in the atmosphere. You can see carbon dioxide releasing from the vehicles we are using, from the other gadget like refrigerator, television, we are using washing machines, and the factories releasing also some greenhouse gases. So what are the effect of the greenhouse gases on our environment? Carbon dioxide release in the atmosphere create a greenhouse effect. जो carbon dioxide जो release होती है, that release and carbon dioxide releasing from the lots of sources like factories, vehicles, and other gadget we are using at our home. So and this create a greenhouse effect by trapping the heat radiation from the earth, and it is therefore called a greenhouse gas. And without it the earth would have been too cold to live in. However, when its level in the atmosphere increased due to factory smoke of car fumes, the heat retained increase and the temperature of the earth. This is called global warming. So as you can see on your screen that there is a blue circle, that is our atmosphere, and because of these greenhouses gases, this atmosphere, the temperature of the atmosphere increase, and it is very harmful for the living creature and living human beings and other living creature on the earth. So atmosphere increase due to the factory smoke, and this rise in temperature cause the snow in coldest part of the world to melt, and as a result the sea level rise. ठीक है, if the snow melt, you can see the snow, if the melt, and the sea level will also increase and causing flood in the coastal areas, and there may be drastic changes in the climate of a place leading to extinction of some plants and animals in the long run. So global warming is a very important topic. So what we can do to stop global warming, you can think about it and you can write about it in your notebook. Students, our next topic is composition of the atmosphere. So do you know that the air we take in while breathing is actually a mixture of gases? Means we are inhaling lots of mixture of gases when we are breathing. Means nitrogen and oxygen are two gases which makes up the bulk of the atmosphere. Maximum part of our air is nitrogen and oxygen. So carbon dioxide, helium, ozone, argon and hydrogen are found in lesser quantities. मतलब कि अदर गैसेस की क्वांटिटीज कम है, बट ऑक्सीजन एंड नाइट्रोजन जो है वो ज़्यादा क्वांटिटी में है. Apart from these gases, tiny dust particles are also present in the air. And the pie chart give you the percentage of different constituents of air. Nitrogen is the most plentiful gas in the air, and when we inhale, we take some amount of nitrogen into our lungs and exhale it. But planets need nitrogen for their survival. They cannot take nitrogen directly from the air. Bacteria that live in the soil and root of some plants take nitrogen from the air and change it form so that plants can use it. Okay, so means this is the composition of the gases. You can see in this pie chart also. You can draw this pie chart in your notebook. So student, you can see maximum part of our atmosphere is nitrogen. This in this white color you can see this is the nitrogen, means 78% is nitrogen here and 21% oxygen. Okay, and only 0.03% is carbon dioxide, argon 0.93%, and other gases 0.4%. So these two gases are very important for the living beings like humans and other animals, insects also, and plants also. So humans, we also take nitrogen directly from our environment. When we need oxygen, so we intake it and then we exhale nitrogen. Okay, but plants also need nitrogen. Okay, so there we take amount of the nitrogen into our lungs and exhale it, but plants need nitrogen for their survival, and they cannot take it directly because plants only take carbon dioxide, so plant cannot take directly nitrogen from the air. So bacteria that live in the soil and root of some plants take nitrogen from the air and change it form so that plants can use it. Means for the plants also nitrogen is very important. Oxygen is the second most plentiful gases in the air. So human and animal take oxygen from the air as they breathe. So green plants produce oxygen during photosynthesis. In this way, oxygen content in the air remain constant. If we cut trees, then this balance get disturbed. As you can see here also in this image, so plant takes carbon dioxide and they gives oxygen, and by this the amount oxygen is stable in our environment. So oxygen is the second most plentiful gas in the air, and human and animal take oxygen from the air as they breathe, and green plants produce oxygen during photosynthesis. You can see on your screen the process of photosynthesis, and in this way oxygen content in the air remained constant, and if we cut trees, then this balance get disturbed. So we should not cut the trees, and we should plant more trees. And student, carbon dioxide is another important gas. Green plants use carbon dioxide to make their food and release oxygen. Human or animals release carbon dioxide, and the amount of carbon dioxide released by humans or animals seem to be equal to the amount used by the plants, which make a perfect balance. However, the balance is upset by burning of fuel such as koila and oil. They add billion of tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere each year. As a result, the increased volume of carbon dioxide is affecting the Earth's weather and climate. Means students, carbon dioxide is also important for our environment, but we need it in a very less quantity. We do not need a maximum quantity of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is important because the plants need it for making their food, but देखो हमें इसका बहुत छोटा amount चाहिए, like we only need the 0.03% of the carbon dioxide. But if it increase, means if carbon dioxide increase, it creates problem for us. And when we are adding other things and other gases in the environment, it will also it will also increase the pollution, air pollution. So when other things we are like we are burning fuels, we are burning koila, etc. So these things also increase the carbon dioxide in the environment, and they add billions of tons of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere each year. As a result, the increased volume of carbon dioxide is affecting the Earth's weather and climate. So if the carbon dioxide will increase in our environment, then it can become a cause of global warming. So global warming is also a very uh, important topic, and scientists are very worried for this increasing temperature and for the global warming, because for the living beings and for the life in our atmosphere, this temperature should be remain balanced in a balanced amount. And if any gases and any other gases increase in the atmosphere, it's become dangerous for us. Next topic is structure of the atmosphere. Our atmosphere is divided into 5 layers starting from the earth's surface, and this is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere. So these are the 5 layers of the atmosphere. So the layer there you can see, this is the troposphere. Okay, this is the troposphere. इस लेयर में हम लोग रहते हैं. This is the troposphere. Here you can see this is the troposphere. Mount Everest, you can see this is the Mount Everest here. So this is the troposphere, and after troposphere, next layer is ozone. Ozone is also very important layer. Okay, so aeroplanes flies in this layer. After that, that is stratopause, and after stratopause there is mesosphere, then mesopause, that is also thermosphere, and then exosphere. So these are the 5 layers of our atmosphere. We will read about it now. First is troposphere. This layer is the most important layer of the atmosphere, and its average height is 13 km. The air we breathe exists here, and almost all the weather phenomena like rainfall, fog, and hailstorm occur in this layer. Okay, so this layer is very important, and we are living in this layer. After that, the stratosphere comes. Above the troposphere lies the stratosphere. It extends up to the height of 50 kilometer, and this means its height from the troposphere, its height is 50 kilometer, and this layer is almost free from clouds. मतलब कि जो हमारे क्लाउड्स होते हैं वो कौन सी लेयर पे होते हैं? क्लाउड्स इज इन ट्रोपोस्फेयर, बट इन स्ट्रेटोस्फेयर इसमें कोई क्लाउड्स नहीं होते. ओके, सो इट ऑलमोस्ट फ्री फ्रॉम द क्लाउड एंड एसोसिएटेड वेदर फिनोमिनम. ओके, इसमें कोई वेदर फिनोमिनम नहीं होता, एंड मेकिंग कंडीशन मोस्ट आइडल फॉर फ्लाइंग एरोप्लेन्स. सो इसी लेयर में एरोप्लेन्स फ्लाई होते हैं. और ओनली इम्पोर्टेंट फीचर ऑफ स्ट्रेटोस्फेयर इज अबाउट इट कंटेन अ लेयर ऑफ ओजोन गैसेस. ओजोन गैसेस जो होती है वो इसी में होती है, stratosphere में. And we have just learned how it protects us from the harmful effect of the sun rays. You know that after the troposphere, second layer is stratosphere. Stratosphere is also, इसमें include हो जाती है हमारी ozone layer. Ozone layer is also important because ozone layer protect us from the harmful gases of the sun. Okay, I will show you this. As you can see on your screen, with the sun rays, some ultraviolet rays also comes to our earth, and these ultraviolet rays are very harmful for us because they can create lots of disease, and they are harmful for the life. So the ozone layer absorb harmful short and other short wavelengths ultraviolet lights from the sun, so that only a good sunlight can reach to us and we can use it. So that's why these harmful ultraviolet rays, if directly sun rays came to us with its ultraviolet rays, then it is very harmful for the plants, animals, and human beings also. That's why ozone layer जो होती है एक filtration का काम करती है, but because of the global warming, this ozone layer is destroying day by day. So after stratosphere, next is mesosphere, third layer. Mesosphere, this is the third layer of the atmosphere, and it lies above the stratosphere, and it extends up to the height of 80 kilometer. Okay, and meteoroids burn up in this layer on entering the space. Okay, in the previous chapter we read that meteoroids which come from the space to the earth, and in this layer meteoroids burn in this layer because if अगर ये layer नहीं होती, okay, if this layer will not exist, then meteoroids directly these meteoroids could hit the earth, and it's also very dangerous for us because these meteoroids these meteoroids will create like earthquake and other effect on the earth. That's why all the meteoroids destroy in this mesosphere layer. Okay, you can learn it by M for meteoroids and M for mesosphere. And mesosphere means mesosphere means which protect us from the meteoroids. Okay, and stratosphere you can learn it, that save us from the ultraviolet rays of the sun. And this troposphere is a very important layer for us, in which we are living, means our weather, our atmosphere, and our other climate effect, all these things happen in troposphere only. Okay, so after mesosphere, thermosphere is the fourth layer, and in thermosphere temperature rise very rapidly with increasing height. So, and ionosphere is a part of this layer, and it's extended between 80 to 400 kilometer, and this layer help us radio transmission. In fact, radio waves transmitted from the earth are reflected back to the earth by this layer. मीन्स रेडियो ट्रांसमिशन के लिए ये लेयर हमारे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है. आफ्टर दैट इज एक्सो थर्मोस्फेयर. Okay, after stratosphere this mesosphere, thermosphere. So thermosphere is a temperature, इसका टेम्परेचर बहुत ही ठंडा होता और इसका टेम्परेचर जल्दी ही इंक्रीज भी होता है, डिक्रीज भी होता है. सो इन थर्मोस्फेयर टेम्परेचर रेज वेरी रैपिडली विद इंक्रीजिंग हाइट, एंड लैनोस्फेयर इज अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस लेयर एंड इट्स एक्सटेंड बिटवीन 80 to 400 किलोमीटर. दिस लेयर हेल्प अस इन रेडियो ट्रांसमिशन, एंड इनफैक्ट रेडियो वेव्स ट्रांसमिटेड फ्रॉम द अर्थ इज रिफ्लेक्टेड बैक टू द अर्थ बाय दिस लेयर. मीन्स जो भी हमारे जितने भी ये हमारे रेडियो ट्रांसमिशन या फिर मोबाइल या फिर टेलीविज़न के जितने भी हमारे ये ट्रांसमिशन जो चलते हैं, ये सब के सब इसी लेयर में चलते हैं. दैट इज थर्मोस्फेयर. Next is exosphere. The uppermost layer of the atmosphere is known as exosphere. This layer has very thin air light gases like helium and hydrogen float into the space from here. Okay, so you have to learn these gases. Most important layer is the first one is troposphere, in which our all climatical effect happening, and stratosphere where aeroplane flies, and the ozone layer also exists in this. Mesosphere where all the meteoroids burn in this layer, and thermosphere our radioactive activities are happening in thermosphere. So next topic is weather and climate. It is going to rain today. How you will feel that it is going to rain today or not, and will it be bright and sunny today? How you will be able to know this? How many times have we heard this from anxious cricket fans speculating the fate of a one-day match? If we imagine our body to be a radio and the mind its speaker, weather is something that fiddles with its control knobs. Weather is the hour to hour, day to day condition of the atmosphere. Okay, this line is very important, that weather is the hour to hour and day to day condition of the atmosphere, and a hot or humid weather may make one irritable one irritable, and a pleasant busy weather may make us cheerful and even plan us for an outing. So weather can change dramatically from day to day and hour. However, the average weather condition of a place for a long period of time represent the climate of a place. And now do you understand why we have daily weather forecast? Means student, you can see that weather changes day to day, hour to hour. Okay, means you can feel that in the morning it's a sunny day and suddenly it's start raining in the afternoon. So that's how like this you can understand that weather change, but climate doesn't change rapidly. Climate is a stable condition of weather in any place or any area. Student, do you know, you will be surprised to know that the earth receive only 1 in this part of the sun's energy. सन की एनर्जी का ओनली वन पार्ट हम रिसीव करते हैं. सो सन की एनर्जी का कितने पार्ट्स में डिवाइड हो रखे सन की एनर्जी. यू कैन रीड दिस नंबर. सो फ्रॉम द 2 billion part of the energy we can only receive the one part of the sun's energy. Temperature. The temperature you feel every day is the temperature of the atmosphere, and the degree of hotness and coldness of the air is known as temperature. So temperature be also decrease day by day and hour to hour. Temperature measure the temperature तो measure किससे करते हैं हम थर्मामीटर से. बैरोमीटर measure atmospheric pressure जो कि बैरोमीटर के लिए होता है. rain gauge is for measure the amount of rainfall. and wind vane show the direction of the wind, that is for the wind vane. Okay, so you have to learn these 4 terms, that is thermometer for the measuring the temperature, barometer for measure the atmospheric pressure, rain gauge measuring the amount of rainfall, and wind vane show the direction of the wind. Now students, the temperature you feel every day is the temperature of the atmosphere, and the degree of hotness and coldness in the air is known as temperature. The temperature of the atmosphere changes not only between day and night but also from season to season, summer and hotter than winter. An important factor that influence the distribution of temperature is insolation, and insolation is the incoming solar energy interacted by the earth, and the amount of insolation decrease from the equator towards the poles, therefore the temperature decrease in the same manner. Now do you understand why poles are covered with snow? And if the earth's temperature is too high, it would become too warm for some crops to grow, and temperature in cities is much higher than that of the villages. The concrete and metal is buildings and the asphalt of roads get heated up during the day, and this heat is released during the night. Also the crowded high rise building of the cities trap the warm air and thus raise the temperature of the cities.